Hello and welcome to Shinsōban, our little book club on the internet. I'm Jay,
And I'm Bea.
and today I'm making biblical references while she spreads church propaganda.
That's not actually true, but yes.
That's what she told me.
It will be relevant in the second, but yeah.
Maybe.
Church propaganda.
Tell us about your mic stand.
Okay. Oh, well, maybe we should talk about the elephant in the room.
Are you calling me an elephant?
No, you're not
That's
the
so
elephant. You're not the
mean.
elephant.
That's so mean.
For the first time, we're going to be recording in person instead of online. So I'm actually
Face to
looking
face.
at Jay right now as we speak.
You say that like
Like-
you don't see me on a call.
Yes, but
So
like I
weird.
said, it's kind of strange to do this in person. Actually, now I get to actually talk to you. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna be talking about tie-ins now. Like it's quite interesting. Oh yes, as for mic stands, we decided to use what was in our wallets. Was it?
Yeah.
And
'Cause-
you can start first because
So I have a little. It was meant to be a keychain, but I took off the chain off of it, so it's just a little thingo. Picture? Would you call this a picture?
it's like an acrylic cartoon
Yeah, of
keychain.
two characters from a show I like, specifically Tokyo Manji Revengers. It's Baji and Chifuyu because I love them, and it stayed in my wallet for the past 3 years.
That's quite impressive, actually.
My wallet's not changed in the past 5, so if you guys could see this, it's
I
like,
can verify. Yeah, it's the
it's
same old
it's
wallet.
like
You
tattered.
need like a replacement soon.
I needed a replacement last year, to be honest.
Yeah.
Tell us about yours.
Mine, my mic stand, my impromptu mic stand, has also been in my wallet for like the past couple of years, and it's Jay's student ID from a university that he doesn't go to anymore.
That I never went to, actually.
Never went to. Yes,
Yeah.
he went to that. He enrolled, and then he unenrolled
Yeah.
after getting the card. So it's kind of funny. So I just have it now for just
yeah.
for funsies.
I was a student there for all of 2 weeks
Really? Yeah.
before I quit.
Yeah, exactly. So I've just held on to it
Yeah.
as a little memento. Oh, actually, speaking of university, we are on campus.
Not my uni.
Yeah, my university.
So today's episode is brought to you by a
We're not-
student ID that's not of the university I go to.
Probably
Recorded
been-
on a campus that I also don't go to.
So you're just going to different unis, and we're not at yours. So
It's like a home and away game. I'm the away team.
you're just away from your uni all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What are our thoughts on Volume 5?
Volume 5 is pretty interesting, I think. It's very front loaded in terms of theories for me, at least.
Front loaded. Do you
Like
mean
the
like
first-
the front is loaded, or
Yeah, like the first few chapters are very
Mm.
loaded. It's not spread out like it was for volume 1.
it's definitely very dense.
Mm.
At the start, but honestly, I enjoyed it.
And there's a lot of weird names.
There's a lot of names. There's a lot of the world just continues to expand. But also I just like how the story's going. There's a lot of potential there. I don't know. Oh, actually, I think this is the first since we introduced like the MVPs, LVPs. This is the first time that I have like I have like a definitive answer.
Okay,
Nominating.
interesting. I actually don't have an LVP.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
I just have an MVP. I'm going back to basics.
Oh.
If you did your homework, this was chapters 18.5 to 22,
And by 18.5, it means
the side
the
story.
little side story. I feel like we should address that we did not cover Levi's side story in one of the previous volumes.
Yeah.
It was mainly just like an introduction. It seems super separate to the plot, so we
Yeah.
didn't really cover it. But
Yeah.
maybe if we find out that like some of it's quite relevant, we might revisit it. But for this volume specifically, the side story is super, super important. So-
Yeah, but I think Levi's side story wasn't as important as a whole.
It was really it was very interesting. No, it wasn't interesting. I'm not gonna
It was
lie.
really
Levi is interesting. His backstory isn't.
The most interesting part was learning that someone translated his name into Ryuhai, like a French name, and
Yeah.
he was called, what was his title? It was like squadron leader or like captain lieutenant, something like that.
Jeez.
Lieutenant colonel, sorry.
Yeah. So
That's the most interesting, and it was completely wrong.
Yeah, literally. It just caused me some confusion, but so we'll start off this episode covering the side story.
Yes.
Very interesting actually. I think it actually sets up
Sets up a lot of questions.
a lot. Yeah. I don't know yet how much, but I feel like it just sets up a lot.
That's true.
Um okay, so let's start off. The side story is called Ilsa's Notebook. We start off on a little introduction to the Scouting Legion or the Survey Corps.
Mm.
And so we've got this girl, Ilse Langnar. She's in the forest, and we find out that she was part of the 34th expedition outside of the wall.
Yep.
And she's basically like one of those people who always journals, right? But I'm guessing she's like a record keeper. She records the events as they occur.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like standard practice while you're outside with the Titans.
I'd assume so,
Or
right?
maybe?
Like a record keeper, or like just a minute taker.
Like a scribe in the middle of the
To be
conflict.
fair, we do have like reporters in the middle of war, so you know.
True, actually, touche. Yeah, so she records the events as they occur, and we find out that there was like an encounter with a Titan. She separated from her squad, and she's fleeing somewhere. So she's in the forest now, no backup, not even her horse, like nothing. And as she's riding, surprise, surprise, she runs straight into this Titan, and she's now trapped between the Titan and the tree. And the Titan's kind of weird, right? Instead of like naturally eating her straight away, the Titan just kind of stares at her while she's riding. Yeah, well, it's strange. It just yeah, it elicits a hmm.
Yeah, for
And yeah, we know that it's a 6 meter Titan from what she said, so likely an abnormal. We'll get into the concept of that later.
Yeah.
It becomes more relevant about whether a Titan is normal or abnormal, but that's later on.
Yeah.
And and then insane plot twist, Titan starts talking.
He's a yapper Titan.
He's a yapper Titan. He's like, well, okay, here's what he says.
Mm-hmm.
A subject of Ymir. When the Titan says that, Ilsa's like, oh my gosh, this Titan's talking. And then he also says, Lady Ymir.
But before you go on with the story, I just want to give props to Ilsa for like being an absolute G and just riding away in front of a Titan. I'd probably be pissing and shitting myself at that time.
You know how there's like a fight, flight, or freeze? She's like riding.
The flight was in her hands to ride.
Like props to her actually. It takes like a lot of guts to continue writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like there's an obvious question here. Who the fuck is Ymir?
Okay. So I did research. And by
Okay,
research,
thank you.
I mean I did Googling for 5 seconds.
Perfect.
So would you like to hear the theory first, or
I would like to know who, like, if. Okay, I think Ymir has a real world context. By real world context,
yes,
I think it's like a god or like a
of sorts, yes.
mythological figure. Yes, so I'd like to know who that is first because
Okay.
I didn't look into it.
So Ymir, or Ymir, however you want to say it, is a name in Norse mythology, and it's not exactly a god. It's a primeval being born of the primordial elemental poison, and
Poison?
Yeah, poison.
Wait. It's a god of poison.
Yeah, a primeval being made from the element of poison.
Oh.
Yep.
Wait, so Ymir is a god
Made
up
of poison.
of poison.
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
And the Jot and is sorry, hold on. And is the ancestor of all Jotnar. And what Jotnar is, it's basically a race of beings in history, like in Norse mythology. They're like the most ancient race in the Norse cosmos.
Really?
Yeah.
And
So pretty much Ymir is a being made of poison, or some kind of lord of poison, basically,
okay.
who's an ancestor to the most oldest race of people.
Most oldest race of humans.
No, of just being, like, they're just the most ancient race in the Norse cosmos.
So almost like, okay.
Like an ancestor to ancient gods, basically.
Oh wow.
So like a really old being.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
I do have. So I made this theory before I learnt all this because I completely forgot to Google it to begin with.
Okay, that's okay.
I have a theory that Ymir could be the name of the king from
Oh,
107 years ago.
like the ruler of.
The one that made the walls.
Oh.
Because so the Survey Corps is labeled as Ymir's people by the Titan, right?
Yeah,
And who do the Survey Corps work for? The
the
king,
king.
right?
That would make sense if, like, Emir's people, if it's not a god, it
Yeah.
is the most authoritative person.
Right?
Yeah.
And it specifically says Ymir's subject. At least it did in mine. It says
Yeah,
something
so like a
a
king's
subject of
subjects.
Ymir. Yeah, like a king's
Yes.
right? And then it also explains if the Titan is bowing down to this king or like revering this king as like some figure of authority, why the king was able to build such big walls to keep the Titans out, which I brought up last episode.
Oh
'Cause,
my
like,
gosh.
How did the king build the walls?
So, now that I know all this, my running theory is that
The king is a Titan.
the king, less of that.
Mm-hmm.
I Because you see, my theories are still between, like, either the humans and the Titans are separate and just happen to look like one another, and they are separate and there's no cause or effect, and they've coexisted and now
Yeah.
they don't,
Mhm.
or that Titans stem from humans or vice versa.
Okay.
So they might be one and the same. So that's the thing that I'm, like, still considering. Like, are they like one? Are they like part of a whole, or are they two different things altogether? So this is making me feel like definitely some coexistence between Titans and humans from, like, the 107 years ago.
I have
Um.
something to consider part of this,
Okay.
if you let me.
Okay.
So, as we know, Yumi is this being born from the primordial elemental poison.
That's
right?
another thing I can't get my head around. Like, what does that mean?
So,
Wait,
like the concept of poison, I'm guessing is what they mean. Because a primeval being is just like, um, I'm not very familiar with Norse mythology, but in Greek mythology, those primeval beings are basically the old gods, if you will, before the concept of gods was made.
Okay.
So the predecessors to gods. So I'm assuming this is what primeval being means here as well. Like before there were gods, before there was order or chaos, there was primeval beings, right? Kind of like the Big Bang to our solar system, if you will.
Okay. Yep.
And the primordial elemental poison, I read it as the concept of poison. Like not physically poison itself, but something that can corrupt others.
It's almost like the apple,
Yes.
the Christian apple.
Yeah. Yes.
Interesting.
And so what I think is, if the king is actually Ymir, what if the poison is kind of like metaphorical in the sense that humans are industrializing the world
No way.
and they're corrupting, and it's
No
like a
way.
big tree hugger.
I also perceive the poison as metaphorical, but more in the sense that almost kind of like what you're talking about, but instead it's kind of like pursuit of knowledge.
Okay.
Like, you know how human brains are, like, proportionally on a biological perspective, the proportion of our brains to our body is, like, bigger than.
Yeah, a lot of
Most
other animals.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that.
Also, one thing else, another way to look at the 6 meter class Titan is what if it's like a missing link between normal Titans and anomalous Titans specifically?
Yes.
Because as you said, it's not exactly within the 5 meter class or the next class up, which was 10 meters, I think.
Yes.
It's somewhere between that. And it talks.
Clearly, this is not just any other Titan.
Yeah.
Also, it behaves really weirdly, right?
It shows emotion.
Yeah, capable of changing expressions.
Yeah.
It knelt down and actually, like, bowed down in respect to Ilsa, who's still
Yeah.
writing, by the way.
Yeah. and the most interesting thing is like it is seen like frowning and crying.
Yes. As, like, Ilsa starts, like, asking the Titan direct questions. What are you? Where do you come from? Why do you eat humans? You don't even need to eat, I think. which gets gradually more and more aggressive, right? And at
Yeah.
the same time, we can see like the facial expressions changing in the Titan, like it's starting to get more agitated, and that all culminates into the Titan becoming more manic and aggressive, and it's almost like a switch,
Yeah.
which was interesting to me. Why
Me
was
too.
there a switch from like a dormant, very tame,
Uh-huh.
to suddenly like bloodthirsty? So the Titan starts like crashing out. Not crashing out. The Titan starts wanting to eat. So Ilsa tries to escape, tries to run away, tries to fight, but she ends up getting eaten by this Titan, right? And we see that, and that's honestly the end of
Yeah.
Ilsa's story.
Very sad.
Until like a year later, when we see Levi
Yep.
and our new character, who's our new character. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
A lady, ponytail, dark hair.
It's not Sasha.
Not Sasha. Yes, and they find the spot where Ilsa basically died,
Yep.
and they find her armband,
Yeah.
and they find her notebook, which means that in the present time, Levi, or at least the Survey Corps, clearly have access to that knowledge of whatever Ilsa went through.
Yeah.
So okay, so theory time, because for such a short chapter, there was so much.
Yeah. There was quite a lot.
Yeah.
Would you like to start?
It's not really a theory. It's just my big question right now is
Okay.
that clearly they're capable of intelligence and communication and expression, and I'm not sure why that is. Like, I don't know if it's like this was just like an anomaly out of all the Titans, or if
Yeah.
maybe all the Titans are capable of it, but somehow like by interacting or seeing humans, maybe they start like aggressively
Okay. Interesting.
attacking. So it's almost like there's like some sort of like stimulus that might be unknown. It heavily implies that there was coexistence of some sort before.
Especially if the Titan's bowing down, saying one of you means subject.
And now that you were kind of like begging the question, like, oh, who made the walls? So I want to say, did the Titans help?
Right?
Like-
It makes sense if they're kind of like, what if they previously were like slaves of the humans of some sort? That's why they were bowing down.
And I think we mentioned this before as well, right? Like, real world context. Like, I don't know if this is where the mangaka got their idea. You know how the giants.
Yeah.
And also, isn't it Norse mythology that has giants?
Yes. Norse and
Yes.
Greek mythology both have giants, yes. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure.
exactly. So that could mean something. I
Mm.
don't know what it means yet. What could this mean for the the events afterward, right? The Survey Corps.
Okay.
Like, I don't know how far back this was, like Levi and our mystery person finding the notebook. I don't know how much time between that event and like what we're seeing now. So it's quite interesting, and it does get answered to some point. Like,
Yeah,
what does the military do with that information?
that's true.
So yes, that's my theories for now. How about you?
So, I specifically want to focus on the Titan kind of losing its composure. I'm not going to say crashing out. That's a bit. That's too funny
I know there was I know I should probably like say it in a better way, but yeah, just on the
So
timing.
I'm going to be the academic in the setting, and I'm going to say he lost his composure.
He lost his composure.
Yes, it's better than crashing out, right?
He snapped, basically. He snapped.
Yeah, he snapped. It kind of reminded me of Eren losing control. When he turned into a Titan. He punched Mikasa, right? For no reason. And then he punched himself.
Wait a minute.
So my theory is, what if when the Titan first saw Ilsa, it was kind of like
It's the same thing?
Yeah, like it was his human self, right? But then as Ilsa kind of like started questioning, like, why do you eat us? It got excited or enraged because of the topic at hand. And it kind of started losing control, and the Titan entity or consciousness took over. Because it doesn't make any noises after that, right? It just like eats Ilsa. But the thing, so this is gonna go into conspiracy theories. What if, like, because I don't know if you mentioned this, but as Ilsa's kind of like questioning the Titan, like, why do you eat us? Who are you? What are you? It kind of starts ripping at its face. and it starts bleeding from its eyes specifically, right?
Yes, which
So
again, I don't remember if Titans bleed. They do.
they
They
do.
do
There's
bleed.
they do
It's fine.
bleed,
Never mind.
but what I found interesting was like it kind of looks like it's crying as it's eating Ilsa. So what if it's like the Titan knows it's gonna lose control, so it's kind of just to show any shred of emotion, it's forcing itself to cry through blood, like crying tears of blood.
Oh,
Um, it's kind of like the last ditch effort it can do to kind of hold on to its humanity, if it has any to begin with.
that is that could be.
And also the tears of blood reminded me of this thing. I don't know if you've heard this, but a while ago there's a famous statue of the Virgin Mary which cried blood.
Yes.
That's kind of what it reminded me of.
Wow.
Going back to
This
that
is a
biblical,
biblical episode.
right?
Yes.
Like that's what it kind of reminded me of. Like it's kind of just crying tears of blood because of what it has to do, or it's been corrupted by the Titan.
You know, what'd be interesting. The
Mm-hmm.
whole talk about poison. This is like one of those really far off theories
Mm-hmm.
for now,
Okay.
but it would be interesting. Like you know how in modern media is always, especially when it comes to like climate change or like animal endangerment, it's always like humans are kind of like the poison.
When I made that point, you said no way. You dismissed
No,
it
no, no,
right
no, 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 no,
away.
no, no, not
What
the,
the fuck? This is.
wait. No,
I made that exact point of
no,
humans
no. I
industrializing.
yes, yes, yes. But I meant
Tisk,
in a
tisk.
more literal way instead of industrialization. Like you know how Eren gets into the back of the neck
Yeah.
of the Titan, like when
Mhm.
he transforms.
Mhm.
It was our theory, the whole
Like a
mech,
mech.
the mech
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
So it also does kind of suggest that maybe Titans are actually a very peaceful species, and that humans, when like
Is that why the king's name is Ymir? Like the king's people are poisoning the
maybe like it's
Titans?
kind of ironic if
That
does
would
that
be
make sense?
That would be pretty interesting to consider.
Like instead of having only this king made of poison, like
It's like spreading.
yes, it's like a disease or like a infection.
Also, I find it really interesting that Titan specifically says "Great Ymir" and Ymir Sama. Clearly, the Titans bow down to the king, right?
Yeah.
Assuming because Titans don't live within human society, so to them, the king of the humans would be Ymir. Assuming because he says or the queen, because he says Lady Ymir.
Mm.
So what if it's in reference to Lady Ymir was like a character 170 years ago, like the wife of the king, or maybe they just rewrote as king because the society is kind of sexist.
Yeah.
And like there's maybe some sort of like secret being passed down the royal family, which Grisha stole.
So you're saying that whatever IP Krisha has is actually royal knowledge or
Yeah,
like royal secrets, and that's maybe why
he's gone missing.
he's gone missing. It's maybe why he decided to like not be in the interior wall, decided to go out, escape from the royal.
Yeah,
Because as we can tell, low-key, I feel like the royal isn't as relevant outside of the interior wall as of right now.
Yeah, as of right now. But you do need to keep in mind, like we'll see it in the next chapter as well. The royal family does have a lot of pull, and what if they're doing it in a like political sense, like they're using proxies to spread their propaganda.
this is a this is a W
A
side
W.
story. I love it.
Yeah, I love it. It's really good, and I kind of feel bad for the Titan. Like he was like so sad and just
Yeah, he was just a little guy.
And
And by
then-
little, I mean like 6 meters.
okay, but like in comparison to like other Titans, that's fairly small considering like what are the sizes like 3, 5, 10? That's what it was.
Yeah,
right?
he's like
3
in the
meter.
middle.
He's like in the middle, but like compared to the bigger Titans we see who are like 10-meter class and like 50-meter like big chungus.
Big chunks.
He's just a little guy, and he was so sad. He was like moaning and crying about something.
That's true. There was definitely like a conflict of emotions in this Titan,
Yeah.
which we have only ever seen when Eren was in a Titan.
Exactly.
So again, there's something afoot there, and I don't
like-
really know how.
That's
to
why I'm
theorize
saying
that.
this Titan is possibly like a missing link between normal Titans and anomalous Titans.
Yes, yes, I know. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because it's not got anything special apart from sentience. And like the Colossus Titan, Eren says it's like his eyes know what it's doing. Like there's like a hint of recognition or understanding in its actions when it attacks. Like I think it was in volume 3.
Yeah.
You know, when Eren's standing at the top of the walls and he suddenly sees Big Chungus and he's like, "You again," and then he says something about the eyes.
Oh yes. Yeah. Like
Um,
there is.
Yeah, and then Eren himself clearly has emotions when he's within the Titan. He feels like glee being able to kill other Titans, and he feels anger at his surroundings or like his situation.
Yeah.
So I feel like, yeah, I really hope we get to see this Titan again. It would be really interesting to see.
Yeah, for sure. It was a very, very interesting start to the volume for sure. Like I really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
And to think that that was all before the volume even started.
that's
Like,
true.
Actually crazy. So we're going to chapter 19 now. Gonna have to leave behind Ilse and that Titan. Okay, so chapter 19, still can't see, is the name of the title. It's the name of the chapter and not that I can't see anymore. Interestingly, we've got like the new perspective because now we're set within like the wall rows, which is like the innermost wall in this society, and we can see that the normal people, the civilians,
The normies.
the normies, they're just receiving the news of what happened in Trust. So
Yep.
as you know in our previous episode / previous volume, Big Chungus, our Colossus Titan, destroyed the gate at Trust, and therefore like that whole area was overrun with Titans until the gate was sealed by Eren
Yeah.
in his Titan form, which allowed like the other reinforcements to kill the remaining Titans. They've won back Trust basically.
What I find interesting is the interior wall is so deep in propaganda. One of the people says, "I'm not," as if I'm going to believe in some announcement unauthorized by the government. Like they're so government pilled, for lack of a better word.
Like yeah, we can see that the news causes like some kind of like uncertainty.
Yeah, especially because the guy right next to him says, "And what makes you think the government information is trustworthy?" Which kind of spreads that idea of like, who do you even believe? Like, do you believe your government or do you believe like the other merchants?
Who have actually seen it
Yeah.
face value. This will be like another theme that we explore later on, but yes, kind of like who controls this narrative, who actually has the power, who should people listen to or believe in. That's like a big thing in this chapter, but
Yeah.
also this entire volume, honestly.
Yeah.
As we've just discussed, like there is a hint at like the sense of distrust in authorities in general, likely to be a concept we revisit as the story continues, which will probably come true. Yeah, and yeah, so the civilians also learned that trust was regained not just because of like the military involvement, but because there was a Titan there helping out,
Yeah.
carrying a big boulder to secure trust. So we will cut to Eren, who
In a
is
BDSM chamber.
what?
I'm just saying.
Um,
He's chained up on a bed.
I.e., yeah, he's shackled to his bed and he's behind bars. Not really. I don't really think
Dang.
I don't really think it's kinky at all.
Hey, I'm not gonna judge what people are into. I'm just
Um,
saying that's what it looks like.
Don't you just hate it when you turn into a Titan and then you turn back and then you're in your BDSM chamber? What does that
In
mean?
your BDSM, no, it's someone else's BDSM chamber. If it was your own, why would you be locked up?
People are into that.
Oh, that's true. But I think it's someone else's.
Um, and he's just there minding his own business, thinking about like what's gonna happen to him, what happened to his friends, and we see two members of the Survey Corps arrive to retrieve Eren from his BDSM chamber. I
'Cause he
can't
needs
call
to
it any
pee.
other way now.
He needs to piss.
Um,
The man's needs to take a piss, and they're not letting him.
so we've got Mike Zacharias and is it Zoe Hange,
Mm-hmm.
who are two new characters,
Yep.
and I think it's So we can say here now that Zoe, basically Hanj was the one who was with Levi who
Yeah.
found
Found the
Ilsa's
Ilse.
notebook.
Yep.
Yeah, so they're both squad leaders and they've come to retrieve Eren. And my question is, why does Zacharias do what he's doing?
He's just a little guy, bro. He's just sniffing.
So for context, basically, apparently, when Zacharias meets new people, he sniffs them. He gives them a good little sniff, and then he sneers. What does that mean?
He's so real for that.
Like, why does he just go sniff sniff? Like,
Can you imagine? Can you imagine being at like a super important meeting discussing like the fate of humanity, and some dude just walks in and he's like, he shakes your hand and he pulls you closer to sniff, and then just goes, "Heh," and then walks back.
It's like he sniff checks you just to see if you're cool, and then
It's
like,
like-
what does that even do?
Have you seen that clip of the person pretending to be Morgan Freeman?
No.
There's this really famous clip. Well, it's famous right now, and it's like two friends are playing like some kind of horror game, and one of the friend asks them like, "Pretend you're hunting me pretend if you're Morgan Freeman hunting me," and the other guy just goes in like a Morgan Freeman voice, "I can smell you," as he walks across screen. That's what this reminds me of.
Sure. Okay. Okay. Wait. Hold on. Anyways, yep. So we've got weird ass Zacharias, and we've got
That kind of
Hanj.
rhymes.
Yeah. Right. Eren gets showed into the next room, and it's a courtroom, and basically everyone and their mom's in there, right?
Also, Eren does say it's a court dungeon, so he was in a sex dungeon, basically.
Why are we back to this BDSM chamber?
Because he's about to get legally fucked.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Okay, so there's like a lot of really important people in attendance. First of all, Pixis is back, Mr. Baldy himself. So that's really interesting. We've also got Commander Irwin and Captain Levi. So obviously these are people of importance at the Survey Corps. We've also got the leader of the Military Police Brigade. His name's Niall, Chief Niall Doc. And we've also got...
What's his son's name? Google Doc? I've made that joke like 3 times before we even started recording.
Thank you for that. And we've also got Mikasa and Armin, so we've got like this little reuniting here going on.
The Loverbirds.
And we've also seen that the judge of this court is Commander-in-Chief Darius Zackley, who is apparently the person who oversees all 3. Basically, he's the head of the entire military, right? He's in charge of all 3 military branches. Yep.
Before we go on, I just want to say so I'm reading a slightly different translation from last time, and Zackley's title is given as Generalissimo.
Really?
Yeah.
So fancy, Generalissimo.
You know who else has historically been called Generalissimo?
Who?
Benito Mussolini.
Oh.
So that's an interesting title to give this guy.
Interesting.
Especially
Is that
because
intentional?
I don't think so. Because to be fair, this translation also calls Levi Corporal Revi, like the French name.
Okay.
So I'm guessing it's probably not. Yeah, it's just like a translator's choice, but it's such an interesting choice
Yeah.
to present him kind of like as Mussolini.
Yeah, that's quite insane actually.
But
now I think
Mussolini was
about it.
bald, so he couldn't.
Oh,
This
another
guy has
baldy.
luscious locks of hair.
Someone needs to study the correlation between baldness and the military.
Is it probably like the stress that like absolutely
Like all
fucks
your hair
you?
just falls out?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe your hairline goes so far back that it just like recedes into nothing.
Isn't that how male balding happens? Like male pattern balding? I'm pretty sure that is. Apparently, I'm gonna be bald someday.
Ugh.
That's so mean.
I hope you cosplay as Pixis one day.
Oh, I will. I will. I'll shave my hair for that.
Oh my gosh, don't shave your head.
It'll grow back.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Okay. Okay, so Darius speaks. He is saying that because of these, special circumstances, the trial that they're going to be holding, in which involves Eren, will be a military tribunal. So that means that whatever decisions are made are going to be made ultimately by Darius himself, and he's like the overarching power, right?
Yeah.
He's like the one who decides everything from now on.
Yep.
And it's the trial is meant to decide which military branch will actually take responsibility of Eren. So depending on which military branch he that kind of takes responsibility of him, that's where his fate will be decided. So
Yep.
it's between the military police brigade, the one who's in charge of like the inner,
Yep.
working the inner wall, or the survey corps where Levi and Erwin
Yep.
are. So we go back to Chief Nal Doc, who is the military police chief, and he says that if Eren was to be, transferred responsibility over to them, his body will be thoroughly examined, basically experimented on, right?
Yep.
And be
the
disposed of
sex time.
afterwards. What?
In the sex time.
Okay. Yeah, so Eren's body will be thoroughly examined and then disposed of afterwards. So as to avoid, so basically they don't want to like make Eren's presence or like influence any larger than it actually already is, because we can already tell that the general population know about him, and it's starting to make waves. So they don't really want to validate his existence any further. They're invalidating him.
Oh,
Um,
free my man.
yeah, so they're trying to avoid the damage from that. So we also see they also kind of hint at like the behavior of the people higher up the ladder of influence. So we're talking about like the royal family, right? Like the
Yep.
people who we would say has the actual
Final say.
biggest power over everyone here. And we learned that they decided not to interfere in any events happening outside of the inner wall. Yeah, so they didn't really interfere in any of the events happening outside of the innermost wall. So we're talking about now when there was like a Titan invasion in Trust, and also 5 years ago when Big Chungus first made his debut. Yeah. So we also see that the general view of Eren right now by the normals, by the commoners, is that Eren's kind of like a hero.
Yep.
Because like oh wow, we've got our first like official victory of humanity, and
Yeah.
Eren was the kind of like the force driving that.
Yeah.
So basically the chiefs kind of worried that this can escalate into civil war, because distrust in the government, so basically the royal family, and then of course there's like this other influential power
Yeah.
that has made like proper change, so it makes sense. So basically the military police want him to die a martyr.
I do want to see, like, kind of bring to attention, like, how we spoke about the king potentially having Titan powers, or like at least the royal family did have them at one point.
Yes.
In 18.5, the side story. I find it interesting that the center is so hellbent on showing Eren as a threat.
Yes.
It's
I
kind of
did
screaming
notice that.
cover up.
I noticed that. Because we have this running, like, kind of like idea that maybe the military police, just because they send the elites there, so obviously these are already people with such high attributes.
Yeah.
Why are they needed there? Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, is it to keep the royal titans in control of some kind?
Royal Titans.
Like, if the royal family can become titans themselves,
Oh yeah.
or they have some sort of power, that's probably why they need the elites there. That's like the only reason you need the best of the trainees.
That's true. Like there's so much mystery shrouded around these people, royal family and the military police, because they're the ones that all work. They're like the main forces of power.
Yeah.
In the
What they described as like the left hand of the right hand of the king. Or
yeah, exactly.
something?
So it's not just they're not just they're like bouncers, right? Like
Yeah,
like they actually do stuff.
Yeah, and yeah, as you said, like I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense considering Eren's, like, the only things Eren has done have been preserving human life. Like, he saves Mikasa and Armin, and then he plugs up the hole. Like, so theoretically, they should be looking at him as like this great boon.
That's true. Yeah, like I would really love to uncover what the military police actually does, because I swear there is some government secrecy there. so that's the military police side of things, right? Like
Mm.
that's what they want to do with Eren. And then that's their whole rationale. Basically a big cover up, right?
Yeah.
And on the other hand, Commander Irwin proposes that Eren be like officially instated as a member of the Survey Corps.
Mm.
So as an official member, right? So
Mm.
that his Titan power can be used for good, to take in essence basically taking back Will Maria, right? Like
Yeah.
as previously suggested. So before we dive into that, like I've got this. I think this was like the concept that I wanted to touch on
Okay.
like a little while ago, which is kind of like how this trial is feels less about what's gonna happen to Eren and whether he's gonna live or not, but more about like who's gonna have ultimate say over what just happened.
Like a sort of show of power.
Yeah, so basically like control of the narrative. Like
Yeah.
in like let's say in a political sense, whoever has the most power or influence will get to decide how people like basically how the general population is gonna perceive what just happened.
Yeah.
So for the military police, it's obviously like they want the military police being the like you said the king's right hand man obviously want the general like the masses to still have subservience to the king.
Yeah.
So they obviously they want to snuff out any other potential forces that could jeopardize that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the Survey Corps not having this allegiance to the king, like well, technically they probably still do,
Yeah.
but like
But it's not as strong as the military police.
yeah, it's more like the way I perceive it right now is like in the way that they're showing all this military police works for the king and the Survey Corps work for the people.
Yeah.
So yes, that's why
So what do you think the third? What was the third one?
the garrison.
The garrison.
The garrison. I feel like the garrison is like that middle child.
You just
like
forgotten.
genuinely like they're just like, oh, you're not good enough to go into the military
Yeah.
police, but also you don't want to risk your life going at the Titans. So therefore you're doing everything else. You know what? I think military police isn't like policing the rest of the military.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, why wouldn't you just call them the police instead of the garrison?
Because that's too many branches that are police, maybe.
But we do have a police and a military police.
They're kind of just like the army,
It's
no?
such a
Like,
weird-
like they're like security.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Because so you need to do military training to get into the garrison. So the military police would have dominion over the garrison, right? Because they're policing the military themselves.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe that's how
true.
they did it back in the day.
Maybe. And apart from like these two main parties, there's also other groups of influence in the society. Like not in terms of military. These are just people, right?
Yeah.
So there's firstly the church, which I was not expecting. Why?
It's led by a nearly bald man as well.
Yeah, this balding. I swear to God, it's all these balding men.
Bald men in positions of power.
Yes, I don't know why that's a recurring theme, but yes, I feel like in every episode we've had, there's always like that one balding guy in power. It was Pixis, and then it was the training officer, and then now it's this guy.
It reminds me of Austin Powers is like the evil villain with the cat who like sucks on his pinky finger. Have you seen that GIF?
Maybe.
There's this really old series of like comedy movies based off James Bond, Austin Powers, I believe.
Oh.
The main villain's always like this bald dude who like sucks on his pinky finger with a little cat in his lap. That's how I see all of them. As soon as they do something sus, that's what I see.
Yeah, they're all just the same old bald man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've got this authority figure of the church apparently. So it's this pastor, and interestingly, he wears this like chain or like necklace around his neck, which has the three walls?
Yes.
And we see the significance of that is because when they were like talking about something, making changes to the wall rows, he was very indignant about that. He was like, why would you touch something that was a gift, a quote unquote a gift from God? So we can obviously tell here that this religion or this group believed that the three walls were gifts or blessings from whatever God.
Yeah.
Because maybe they believed it just appeared, or maybe it wasn't. I actually don't know why they believe
So
that.
yeah, I want to say a couple of things about this section a bit as well.
Yeah.
So the translation I'm reading, it's really funny. This is more like a light-hearted note, but Eren basically thinks to himself, he's from that organization that suddenly started gaining support 5 years ago. It was called a religion, I think.
Mine was it's the church, I think.
Yeah, and it's like such a funny idea of like he's not even familiar with the concept of a church or a religion.
Mm.
But the main thing I want to focus on is so when Minister Nick or Pastor Nick, whatever your translation calls him, when Nick talks, the original translation I read said he circumvented the walls, so he went around the walls.
Oh, okay.
Because he's a Titan, right? Like
Yeah.
he has the Titan powers.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like again, untrustworthy narrative. Because like as far as we know, we just assume that Eren was born inside the walls. Like we see him at a really young age. But what
What
if
are you talking about? That he's not born inside the walls.
yeah, what if that's what Minister Nick is saying?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Basically, Pastor Nick is believing that
Eren's
Eren infiltrated their society and
Yeah.
is therefore not actually a human
and he's a Titan.
and as actually just a full blown Titan, like basically like wolf in sheep's clothing,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, sorry. And I get it now. Yeah, yeah. Because I forgot
Sorry, I
we haven't
worded it
explained
really
that.
weird.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's such a weird thing to say specifically. Like why does the minister why does Nick just like outright accept, oh like yeah, Titans can turn into humans?
That's
Wouldn't that be
true.
like a bigger bone of contention? Like, okay, say a Titan did invade into society through the walls. How the fuck is the Titan hiding himself? Like, isn't the first question you ask like, oh well, why can he turn into a human? Can other Titans do that? Can other humans become Titans? That'd be like the first logical question you'd ask. That's the
Yeah.
first questions we ask.
That's the first questions we ask, yes, but I guess it's almost like because yes, I agree with that, but I guess another possibility is just that they don't want to
Ask.
they don't want to entertain the possibility that Eren is just a normal human being and that therefore like human beings if given the right treatment or the right in the right circumstances could become titans because that's like that's them having to like come to terms with the fact that these things that they've been like fighting against so hard is
Like they
could
don't want to give
actually
sympathy
be
to the enemy.
yeah something like that like they like you know how you like in war maybe
Yeah.
like the propaganda is always like these people are like less than human.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
feel like it's something like that. So that the first thing that they think of is like, oh, this is a human who turns into a titan, therefore it can't be a human.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And like another yeah, you're right. I think I that's probably it. Also another thing I really want to question about Pastor Nick is he says the walls are divine, but the walls we've been told are built by the king. Which
Yes.
kind of harkens back to the idea of
The king
is
being the
Ymir.
god.
So which of it's true? Because Pixis very clearly and the rest of humanity knows or believes they know that the king 107 years ago, or I guess it's more now, it's like 109, right? Like 109 or something, years ago built this wall to save humans from being eaten up.
Yeah. There's so many references to gods and to like figures of power. It would be interesting to see how those like figures are they one and the same? Are they different?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah. And Eren's humanity being questioned again is like the whole Tokyo Ghoul thing. It's like, you're part of both worlds.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know I should stop bringing that up because that's like a constant theme.
But it's
so
so like
funny.
it's a perfect example though.
Yeah.
Of like someone who's from into different
Yeah.
communities and you don't actually feel
And I
like
think
you
like
fit
Tokyo
in.
Ghoul's the only one that really explores that idea apart from Attack on Titan. And like outrightly says it.
Actually, I do have another reference
Oh?
that's not Tokyo Ghoul, but
Okay.
I'll bring it up later towards the end of this chapter.
Okay.
So there's also another group of influence in the society, and I feel like people can tell as well for now. It's like the Merchants Association. So those people who actually travel travel
I'd say
and
it's more like the businessmen.
yeah, right? Like it's those people who are like conducting business like outside
Yeah.
or like, like they travel and stuff.
Like, would they be the aristocrats or the oligarchs?
I'm not super sure.
Because I know both of them are related to nobility and money. I think they would be the oligarchs. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Who suggest that maybe they should just permanently close all the gates to avoid further attacks, which is
Hmm.
basically kind of like let's just trap ourselves
Yeah.
even more. I like that Eren kind of like in my translation at least, Eren kind of was like, "Oh, these are the conservatives."
Yeah, yeah,
like
that's what I
like
had as
that's
well.
so valid.
Yeah, I think that's like a perfect example of a conservative as well. It's like just close it up.
Like do what's safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like whatever has the higher success rate. But again, like there's obviously challenges that would come up with that, like for example, like infighting.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Also, I like how Aaron points out, and this is like a really cool piece of world building of like the church or the religion of the wall, kind of being against even putting like cannons on the walls to like protect people
Yeah.
because you're harming something that's a divine gift. Like it's an interesting world building thing, and also like kind of highlights how brainwashed. I don't want to say brainwashed. That sounds mean. Like how blinded by their beliefs the people can get. Like they're outrightly opposing anything that can properly save them.
Yeah, and I again that's why like that theme that we picked up on, right? Like the whole like who controls this narrative, who gets to have a say in what should be done, what should happen is really really important in this society.
Yeah.
Just because like it affects literally entire humanity.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Darius continues with the trial, right? So that's the judge.
Yep.
And questions whether like Eren is capable of utilizing his Titan power for good, to which Eren replies yes. And Darius kind of like investigates that, right?
Mm.
He's reading the mission report aloud and then he focuses on the fact that when Eren was in his Titan form, he actually, started attacking Mikasa.
Yeah.
This is the point where Armin, as like a spectator, kind of confirms the suspicion that yeah, Eren was not like in control then. Like he
Yeah.
did not have any recollection of that, because Eren looks like visibly like what the hell I did that. Like yeah, he's like Eren's like oh he didn't know that happened, but yeah, Mikasa is obligated to confirm that that did happen.
Yeah.
But she also defends Eren because like there were like two separate times when Eren actually defended her and also Armin.
Mm.
So there's that.
I like how they kind of show. I don't know if you've or if our audiences have experienced this, but like in shows where they have the lawyer like the court proceedings in like
Yes.
any TV show. This part's like one of the most aggravating things to me. It's like, did he try to kill you? Yes, and you're not allowed to say anything else. It like genuinely pisses me off so much.
Yeah, it's so like harsh. Like it's just
Bitchy.
it's so confronting. But at the same time, like that's the whole purpose, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the whole intent of a trial.
Yeah, but it also goes to show like how easily you can kind of hide the truth while sharing the truth.
Yeah, which again, it's kind of like this whole trial being between like two military branches with like the church with the merchants. It's kind of just like a small scale representation of what's happening in the whole society, which is really interesting. I really like. It's kind of like a quote unquote boring chapter because there's no action.
Yeah.
But it is very interesting to see the different forces of power.
I have a little theory.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that the church is kind of furthering royal propaganda.
Yes, I feel like the military police and the church are actually just
They're working hand
towards the same goal. Yes, they're
Yeah.
working towards the same goal in different ways.
Not even in different ways. Like it could very well be like, oh, it's like, one party tries to convince them to kill Eren right away, while the other one says, oh, we'll first examine him and then kill him.
Like
it's the same thing.
It's the
They're
same
working to
ends.
the exact same thing, pretty much the same way.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Yeah, it goes to show how propagandized
Yeah.
people are within the inner wall.
And that's why like this is the whole suspicion that we have, right, of the inner world, because there's just so much like influence.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a tribunal, this is a trial.
Yeah.
So the military police chief obviously brings up Eren and Mikasa's past, specifically how they killed Mikasa's abductors in self-defense. And this revelation obviously starts to cause unrest among like the people watching, and they start to even doubt like Mikasa being a human.
Yeah.
Because of that, the intent to kill kind of
Yeah.
vibe, which was interesting to me. Like, are you telling me no one's killed?
Right? Especially like I think the context also is super important. Like you can't just say, "Oh, he has violent tendencies" when he's trying to save someone else's life.
Yeah,
That's like a really shitty way of
like
putting it.
Mikasa's literally about to be human trafficked.
Yeah.
And
And like that's like me saying like, "Oh, if I crash my car into a criminal's car to stop them from fleeing away, I'm a reckless driver." Which isn't fair because I was just trying to help the situation.
yeah, so it's quite interesting to see that they associate like the act of murder or the act of killing or violence with Titan
Especially
behavior.
Yeah, especially because we know that the military police has been known to cull the
Yeah,
numbers.
to kill off
Yeah,
people.
so like if anything, they're probably worse off than Eren ever will be.
Yeah, exactly. So Loki, that was kind of hypocritical of them
Yeah.
to mention, but yeah. Uh, anyways, after this, Eren addresses everyone in the room, calling them out for like twisting the narrative to what best suits them. It's just like a power plays all
Yeah.
around, right?
Yeah.
And he implores them to allow him as the person with power, as a person with the capabilities to become a titan, play his part in helping humanity advance.
It reminds me of that little meme. It's like, I'm doing my part. What about you?
um yeah, so of course he speaks out of turn,
Yeah.
and so therefore Levi beats the shit out of him. Levi punishes him
Yeah.
in front of the entire crowd while everyone watches warily, like at this, to the point where everyone's like, we hope he doesn't turn into a titan. And Commander Irwin conveniently uses this as an opportunity to suggest that Eren be partnered with Captain Levi, so that if anything happens, Levi is the failsafe who will take care of, aka kill off Eren if he does get out of control.
Also, I like how Mikasa's like absolutely glaring at Levi for this. It kind of gives the same vibe as like two fandoms fighting over who's the better waifu.
I know.
But
That's
yeah.
actually funny. Like now that I really think about it, yeah. Because
So in my translation, Eren says, "Stop the fuss already and just invest all you got in me."
I know it sounds so.
He sounds like a fucking business proposal.
Sounds like a real estate agent.
Hey, I got a great timeshare opportunity for you. Just invest in me.
Just invest in me. Oh my god, it's like those people who want you to get into crypto. Like,
Yeah. It's like, trust me, bro. With this,
give me $100 and
Yeah.
I'll invest it in crypto. And I promise
Dogecoin is
you-
gonna moon. Trust me, bro. It's gonna moon. You need to be diamonds maxing right now.
Yeah, so Erwin says that he'll pair up Levi with Eren, and that depending on how well Eren like contributes, and during the next expedition, that will determine whether he should live or die.
Yeah.
Like, is he worth it enough to keep alive?
Yeah.
Honestly, everyone sees this as like a good. We don't have to worry about Eren anymore. You take him, right?
Yeah.
At this point,
out of mind.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's why the commander-in-chief, Darius, decides to go with the plan, leaving Eren to prove himself as a Survey Corps member.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my thoughts about this whole trial scene, really cool to see the different voices of society as it is right now. Yeah, I'm just really curious about how, as the volume progresses, these people who we get introduced to aren't involved anymore. So it'll be interesting to see how they play a part later on as the story goes. It might get more political,
Yeah, I also like how, I'm not gonna lie, the trial feels very much already biased towards the interior wall.
Yes.
Like there's a sort of unfairness in there, considering that exactly has probably been put in place by
The king.
or like the body of government, like working under the king, which is just like pretty much anyone going in there.
Yeah, like he probably came from the military police brigade.
Yeah,
like
he's probably gonna get like, you know how like in a real legal system you have like cases of like defendant versus state for like criminal.
Yes.
It's like you're already fucked considering there's only one judge and he's working for the state already.
Yeah.
In this scenario.
Yeah, it kind of gives like a false sense of hope
Yeah.
that you have, or like false sense of control over the narrative. You don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like,
It's almost like it's just a formality.
yeah, but we do get to see Pretty Boy Irvin. That's what I'm gonna call him, Pretty Boy.
Pretty boy Erwin.
Yeah, he's got like the Pretty Boy vibes.
Yeah,
Like he's
he
got
does.
the 7-3 side part.
Maybe all the hot people just go to Survey Corps. You hot? Let's go. So later on, after the trial concludes, we see Eren and the Survey Corps members discussing in like a separate room, and we find out that basically it was all a setup, right? Like Levi punishing Eren so that Erwin could prove a point. It was basically just like a staged thing to sway the trial in their favor, which was very smart. That was really cool. As this happens, Hanj tells Eren to open his mouth because while Levi was beating him up,
baby girl.
because while Levi was beating up Eren, a tooth fell out. So she wanted to like check on like what happened with the tooth, and we find out that the tooth's actually growing back.
Yeah, which is so interesting because I thought the regeneration was locked to him being inside the Titan.
Yes, I thought so too.
Because, you know, when he gets eaten up, we see like a hand forming around a skeleton hand. Like, we see a skeleton hand like pop up and then the muscles forming around it within the Titan's stomach in like volume 2, I think.
Yeah.
Or 3 was it, whenever we get Eren's perspective. I thought that was the Titan's hand, but what if that wasn't Titan's hand?
So that was Eren.
That was Eren's hand forming back up and then he activating the Titan.
Possibly. So
we'll get into this in the next chapter because we do find out something, which I will bring back up.
Okay. But yeah, before we finish off this chapter, I feel like this would be an appropriate time to mention the other reference I was talking about. So I haven't actually finished this anime, but I watched it like the first part of the season like a long time ago. Ever heard of Ajin? Ajin Demi-Human? No. Okay. So it's a really cool anime, and basically the story is that there is a species that passes off as human, but basically their power, quote unquote, is that they cannot die. They cannot die. So that's why they're demi-humans. They can like get run over, they can have their arm cut off, anything, right? And they will regenerate and they will, they cannot die. So I just thought that was like really interesting because like I think one of the main plot points there was that they're being hunted down. There's only a few of them. They don't really show up very often, but when they do, like, you know what it is. And like one of the things that happens is that they actually capture these demi-humans, these Ajin, because like first of all they like a lot of people are like scared of them, but also like on a government or like a Black Ops level, they actually experiment on them repeatedly.
Interesting.
Yeah, so basically torture, right? So yeah, I just found that like really like interesting, like that's basically what the military police want to do, right? Like just like dissect this guy, he regenerates, good, let's do it again, kind of vibe.
Kind of reminds me of another manga. I don't know if you've heard about this. This one's fairly niche. It's called Manji.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's about a swordsman who has worms inside his body that don't let him die.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's set in like a historical period, like a historical Japanese.
You know what? Now that we talk about this, now that I feel like there's an element of immortality here that we have to talk about, but I haven't really delved into it. Yeah.
And like he's kind of being hunted just to be tested on to figure out what's his source of immortality because it's a big secret.
Oh, it's the worms.
Yeah, it's the worms. You're told that as the reader.
Well, it might not be the worms.
No, it's definitely the worms.
Definitely the worms. Okay.
It's more so. It's kind of like this conflict of wanting to know how the worms came about. Blade of the Immortal. Sorry, that's what it's called. It's not called Manji. It's called Blade of the Immortal. Yeah, so he's pretty much this criminal who killed 1,000 people, and to atone for his sins after he was saved by someone, he has to kill 1,000 evil people to make up for his sins. And his story, he's pretty much being hunted by this group to find out for different reasons. But yeah, you're right. There's like a concept of like how does the regeneration work, and is it tied to just like is it only because Eren has powers, or is this just like something all humans? Well, obviously not all humans experience, because
Yeah, yeah,
Hanj like is shocked at it.
yeah.
Um,
So
but yeah, pretty interesting to see like what else does the Titan form improve.
yeah, a banger of a first chapter, honestly. Like this
Mm.
plus the side story, actually insane.
Would you say this is turning out to be one of your more favorite
I really
volumes?
enjoyed this one. For now, yes,
Okay.
I really enjoyed this one. That's chapter 19.
Mm.
A banger of a chapter, a big one as well, a big chungus of a chapter, really.
A colossal Titan, even. I really liked seeing like all the political parties. It was kind of nice to see it's not just like the military, like they're kind of bringing everyone into the fold, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like you've got the traders and you've got the church, so you've got like two sort of separate aspects. I know we talked about like, oh yeah, what if the church is just like working for the king, but and like working alongside the interior police, but through slightly different means. So there is this kind of aspect of, well, it's not really multiple different. It's just like the Survey Corps versus the interior police versus the traders, because the church can kind of be seen as an extension of the interior police, if that makes sense.
yeah.
But yes, it was nice seeing like kind of like this idea of like there's more to the world than what we see.
Like I really wasn't expecting like a sudden church faction to suddenly be in there.
Yeah, that's true. It was really quite surprising. I'm curious to see because I don't think I picked up much about them when I first read through AOT. So, kind of like I wonder how much of them we'll actually see because I
I
genuinely
guess
cannot
we'll find
remember.
out as we go through the
Yeah,
different volumes. We'll see if if they do end up having like a bigger role than we see right now. Yep.
yeah.
So we'll go into the next chapter. So that's it's called Special Operations Squad.
Mm-hmm.
So basically we see Aaron and Levi's squad basically travel towards the former headquarters of the Survey Corps, which is
Yep.
this gigantic castle, very aesthetic actually.
Mm.
And since the location is kind of far from like the wall and
Yep.
the river, did they say?
I think so.
Yeah, like basically it was geographically like not very appropriate of a
Yep.
headquarters. So it's kind
Yeah.
of like an abandoned building. And we
Yeah.
also at this point get introduced to some more of some secondary characters from Levi's squad or Squad
Mm-hmm.
Levi. So I don't know how to pronounce his name. Is it Oluo
I searched up online and his name seems to be Oruo.
or what?
Oruo.
Orwo.
Oruo.
Oruo?
Oruo. Oruo.
Mr. Oreo. He's Oreo.
um. Yeah.
And
Oh, by the way, did you notice the squad that Aaron's been put in? It's SOS,
why is it SOS?
Special Operations Squad.
Oh yes, the Special Operations Squad. Yeah. That's a nice
Pretty.
touch.
Or
Uh
we meet Oro, who
yeah,
likes
yeah, he
us.
basically likes to pretend to be like he's Levi. And also this lady called Petra.
Mm.
Not no, we don't really hear much about her, but we do know her name. So
She
there's
kind of
that.
looks like Armin.
She does kind of look like Armin. But
Yeah.
yeah. Um
And Oro bites his lip, which is, sorry, his tongue, which is kind of funny.
yeah. He's kind of just like that one person who just kind of like makes a fuss over nothing really.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Squad Levi gets to the castle and we see them go about cleaning up said castle, and this is where we
Mm.
finally see like that one made Levi meme, like when he's like opening up the window and he's got like this little bandana around his neck, around his head,
Yeah.
like one of those grandmas slash maids.
Honestly, that scene kind of has the vibes of Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair,
It does. Like he's so
right?
dramatic, and for what?
Yeah, I absolutely love this little interaction.
Mhm. And we also we at this point when like during this process of them cleaning up the castle, we also get to see some more fleshing out of Levi's character.
Mm.
So we find out his origins as basically like a delinquent, right? Not
Yep.
listening to authority, and but Eren also is quite surprised that he's quite obedient towards like superiors orders, like
Yeah.
for someone who's very like who seems very rebellious and goes against the grain. um
Mm.
he didn't really expect Levi to be someone who would like take direct orders and just follow them.
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess it was quite interesting because personally, it made sense. Like I get Eren being surprised at it, but also it's quite fitting that for Levi to actually like gain power and autonomy over what he can do, it had to be done within like the limitations of kind of the existing power structures that exist.
Yep.
So it makes
Yeah.
sense that kind of he kind of had to like follow the general set of rules and then play, but still have to play within those rules, if that makes sense.
He became a lapdog.
Yeah, but I guess it's in exchange of doing whatever he wants, other like
That's true.
within reason, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how Petra calls him out for being short. Just like,
Does
yeah,
she?
people don't imagine. Yeah, so she says he's not what people expect to see. He doesn't look like the flawless hero they imagine, starting with his short stature.
Oh, oh
So,
yeah. Mine is the real Captain Levi is unexpectedly short.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
which is great. We love a short king. And
yeah.
but yeah, so at dinner, the squad discusses the possibility of having new recruits join the Survey Corps. So
Mhm.
which is happening quite soon after the previous Thailand invasion that they all
Yeah.
just escaped from. And we find out that it's more of Commander Irwin who's kind of in charge of sorting that out. So everyone's kind of in the dark about that.
Yeah.
And the conversation kind of transitions to questions about how Eren transforms into a Titan. To which Eren responds that his memories are kind of hazy and his control of his body becomes kind of compromised, right?
Yeah. Well, what I find interesting is Eren seems to have forgotten how to activate his Titan powers, but
Did he?
yeah. So he looks like how come I need to how come I know for sure that I need to injure myself in order to transform?
Isn't it like he knows for sure that it's biting his hand?
Yeah, but
That
he doesn't know how, which is so uh
yeah, he's unsure of how
interesting.
he knows this, but he is aware of the trigger.
Yeah, which kind of feels weird considering we kind of see him realize like we so when he goes to save Mikasa and Armin from the cannon being fired, and he materializes the Titan. To me, his like little flashback of Grisha telling him he needs to learn how to control these powers for humanity implies that he remembered how to activate them, which would mean he knows how, like he knows how to activate them, if that makes sense.
Yes, yes, that does make sense. But also, it's kind of like you can kind of just chalk it up to Eren and his kind of shitty memory, right?
Yeah.
Like like it seemed more like an instinctive like yeah, I'm gonna bite my hand and then I'm gonna have the powers. Like
Yeah. Like it kind of also the way he activates his powers. It kind of reminds me of like a nervous stick. Like I don't know if you've ever experienced this yourself, but whenever I get nervous, I tend to bite my hand or my nails more specifically.
Yeah, yeah.
So him biting his hand kind of feels like a nervous tick.
Mm.
So maybe that kind of goes to credit your theory of instinct. Like it's just his instinct to kind of bite onto his hand when he's facing something.
Yeah. Yeah, like maybe it wasn't a specific because it's such a specific trigger. So maybe it's
Mm.
just more of like, oh, what's your natural like when you put yourself in a scenario where there's danger. That could just be it.
You know, now that I think about it, the biting kind of reminds me of Naruto
Oh?
whenever they summon their familiars or like whoever they have a contract with, they kind of
Mm.
bite onto their thumb to draw a seal.
Yeah, yeah. It does seem very
So
similar to that, yeah.
that's kind of funny.
I forget which anime this is. Oh, it's Chainsaw Man. It's kind of like when devil hunters make pacts with their devils and they have to kind of like sacrifice parts of themselves. So
Hmm.
I think it was one character who kind of has an eye patch because like she's given up her eye, something like that,
Yeah.
or her lifespan, something like that.
Yes. Isn't it that the devil lives in her eye, so every time she opens it, she loses a bit of her life to
I think
see?
I'm not super sure.
Yeah,
I can't
it's
super
you're talking
remember.
about Himeno, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yep.
Yeah, he acknowledges the trigger, like he knows that it exists and what it is, but he's not really sure the origins of it. Which honestly, while we're talking about this, it begs the question, like, if Grisha had a hand at making Eren into what he is, right? Or if Grisha always knew what Eren was, like whether this is natural or artificially done.
Mm.
Because I'm guessing this isn't the first time Eren has turned into a Titan. So how did that go by unnoticed?
What if it's like a coming of age kind of thing? You need to be a certain age, or maybe it needs to develop for a certain amount of time before it starts presenting itself.
Fair enough, but
But to be fair, Aaron was only given the syringe after his mom died.
yeah. So
So
I'm guessing like that first time that he turned into a titan was the first time ever cuz there's no
yeah,
way.
like if we're going off of the assumption that it was the syringe or like
Yeah.
related to the syringe, like somewhere around that time is when he was given in heavy quotation marks his power.
Yeah, that also kind of brings up like the idea that maybe, based on what his cuz his memories itself are so like choppy and non-linear. Maybe
Mm,
the syringe isn't even what instigates the his condition. Maybe it suppresses it.
true. And then I guess, well, yeah, that could be true. And do you reckon that Grisha then probably used his possible connections to the interior to like cover up any incidents of Eren becoming a Titan?
Maybe, possibly, but it's quite hard to like have all that undercover in your in your like small village community. So I'm not super sure.
That's true. That is
Yeah,
very true.
yeah. So
Um,
I think it's quite interesting if we consider that instead of suddenly jumping to conclusions that Grisha caused all this, maybe it was more of a the syringe might have been more of a preventative measure rather than a stimulus.
so are you trying to say that like Grisha was kind of planning to go away? That's why he gave the syringe, because like he wouldn't be around to keep it under wraps.
I'm not sure why he gave it. More of like maybe he just wanted Aaron to have a normal life.
That's
And
true.
it was only in such like life or death circumstances that Eren actually turned into a Titan.
Mm,
So it's more of like a maybe somehow Grisha knew that Eren was always gonna turn into a Titan or could turn into a Titan, and it was more of like let's make sure that happens never. I
that's
don't
true.
know, like a
Yeah,
suppression, like a immunosuppressant, if you will. I don't know.
I guess that would kind of make sense with Grisha kind of being a doctor. Like his
Mm,
whole role up until now has been like saving lives and preventing disasters. So it doesn't make sense that he's the one instigating Eren's powers or like causing them. Yeah.
Yeah, especially because like we'll go
Yeah.
into this later, but we'll
Mm-hmm.
go more into the Grisha's role as a doctor and what how could he have possibly been like researching Titans and stuff later on
Okay.
in this volume.
I'm curious to hear
Yeah.
why you say that.
Um yeah, so at dinner talking about, Eren turning into a Titan, squad leader Hanj enters the conversation and we learn that she's basically the person overseeing the examination of the like Titans that they've captured alive,
Yeah.
and she's now requesting Eren's involvement in those experiments. Not like I realized that our like I was thinking of a different chapter. Like this is where we can go into it. Is more work because we're looking at what Hanj has been doing, right?
Yep.
So yeah, so it's a really intriguing part of the chapter. It's kind of like a summary of Hanj's previous experiments, specifically
Mm-hmm.
on these two titans called Sonny and Bean.
Bean. I
Sonny
love that
and
name.
Bean. Yeah, isn't Bean the taller one too? Like just
Yeah, yeah. Sunny's the 4 meter class Titan, and Bean's a 7 meter class Titan.
yeah, Bean's the bigger one. I like Bean and Sonny. Um, but yeah, so I've kind of summarized her
Yep.
findings. So first of all, these are kind of just conventional titans, right?
Like your common Titans.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
So one thing is they're unable to facilitate any kind of communication, which is really
Mm-hmm.
interesting considering the stuff that we've seen from Ilsa's chapter slash Ilsa's journal.
Yep.
Another thing that was quite interesting that we've just learned is about sunlight deprivation. So, old titans, like basically, they're not as useful without sun, but depending on
Mm.
which titan it is, their energy depletes at different rates. So, for example, Sonny kind of stopped responding, like became lethargic after 1 hour,
Mm.
and then
He
being the
went into
bigger one.
hibernation mode.
Yeah, pretty much. Like low battery mode. And being the bigger one had energy even after like around 3 hours.
Yeah.
So it's quite clear that Titans require sunlight. And it turns out they only require sunlight because they don't need food, water, they don't even breathe, but they do have like vocal cords, which is interesting. And I'm guessing lungs too.
Yeah. They kind of sound like carnivorous plants that don't eat for food. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah, like, because they can't even digest them, right? That's why there's like Titan
Yeah.
puke. So
Yeah.
it's quite so genuinely the biology, whatever biological systems the Titans have, it's so interesting. Just because like you would think that they would not have those systems that don't serve them any purpose.
Yeah. It's like their bodies are like half a jigsaw puzzle where they're missing like random pieces for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. So it's quite weird.
Yeah, because what's interesting is they have digestive juices because we see Aaron fall into
In the
digestive
stomach.
juices along with
Yeah.
yeah in the stomach, but then there's no like
There's
way
nothing
forward from
past
there.
that. There's nothing past that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Almost like there's nothing waist down. Now that I think about it.
that's true.
I don't know what that
Hmm.
means, but yeah, now that I think about it, because they have respiratory systems, they
Yep.
have digestive system up to the stomach, which is like until the abdomen.
Yep.
They can breathe and stuff. So yeah, yeah, respiratory. They have some sort of circulatory because they bleed. So that's
Yep.
still like but apart from that, there isn't really
And
any
they
organs.
seemingly have a developed brain as well. Not that they use it, but it is there.
Yeah, so it's very much like one part was developed and the other part wasn't. So it's quite yeah.
You know what's interesting? It's almost like within a certain radius. So because we know that Eren sits at like the nape of a titan of his titan's neck.
Mm.
It's almost like within a certain radius the body is fully developed, but then up outside of that it's just kind of like filler.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I do agree with that.
which is such a. Does that mean that all Titans experience like a similar development?
Maybe,
Um,
but also like why? I'm just curious, like why would the distance from the weak point be the determining? Unless it really is a mech, like a fleshy mech.
yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. Like that kind of theory would make the most sense.
Yeah, we also see kind of like the pain tolerance being determined through
Yep.
Hanja's experiments, because and it was also a way to look for, as we were mentioning, potential weak points, right? Honestly, at
Yeah.
this point, Hanja's Loki insane. She looks so insane. Why is she screaming while she's stabbing someone in the eye? Like,
Cause Bean and Sunny are in pain. How could you do this without screaming, as Hanji
but
says?
but she's the one who's but she's the one
Exactly.
who's doing it.
Bean and Sunny are like her kids. It's like tough love, I think.
Tough love.
Yeah, tough love.
That's quite insane, if I do say so myself. Oh,
Yeah.
um, and interestingly, again, they have
Mm-hmm.
different reactions.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I forget who is who, but one of them like clearly is experiencing pain when dealt with in we know, when dealt with like wounds and
An
and
eye
stabs and
injury.
stuff. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Bean. That's Bean who has his
Being.
mouth open, and Sunny doesn't seem to react.
Yeah, when Sonny gets like stabbed through the heart, which means
Yeah.
they do have a heart again. Um, it's quite weird because they don't feel anything.
Yeah.
And you mean to tell me that even stabbing them through the heart doesn't kill them?
Yeah. It's really weird. Also, when Sunny kind of goes to uh bite off Hanj, uh, the mouth, like, what would you call it? Is this a cheek or like
Like
the jowl?
it's like the jaw opens up, like it.
Yeah, it opens up and the skin's like flabby, which is such a weird. Um,
Isn't that similar to like Big Chungus, like the colossal titan?
yeah, but the big chungus
Oh,
doesn't have any skin. And if you look at Bean, right, Bean has like a slit. Like you can see a slit going up in like
yeah,
a
he
smile.
does. You know how? Okay, this will be relevant. I think we should discuss it later.
Okay, okay, we'll revisit this point of the weird Titan
Yeah,
face.
yeah. Okay, so at this point of the conversation, Eren kind of asks Hanj how she's capable of endangering herself. Basically, Eren's kind of confused, like why Hanj wants to even like know more about these titans and like be in their proximity and experiment on them, for lack of
Yeah,
better, because that's exactly what she's doing, right? And we
yeah,
find out that Hanja's motivations stem from the fact that when she was fighting them in a previous expedition, she found out that the body parts were actually very light, like they don't
yeah,
weigh as much as they should realistically. So
yeah,
so finding this out, plus the fact that Eren, a human, is able to conjure up his own titan, like titan
mm,
entity, has it basically has Hanj investigating her own theory, right? And
yeah,
the theory goes like this: it's more of like what you see, like the visual of a titan, and what really exists of a titan does not actually fully align. So there's some mismatch there somehow.
yeah.
Like somehow maybe I guess the I guess the easiest way to explain it is more of like maybe a titan is just a projection of a human.
I guess that kind of also explains why, after a certain distance, a Titan's body isn't as developed because the projection kind of wears thin the further away you're getting from like the source, maybe?
Yeah, and also like how Eren conjured up like that really sick looking skeleton titan form just to protect
Mm hmm.
Armin and Mikasa. Like on like it doesn't like one of its purposes isn't like its physical strength for long term. It's just like a large canopy, like a large
Yeah, like a shield.
cage required. Yeah. So it does make
Mm,
sense that, like, if the nape of the neck is the point of control or the point of projection, then it would make sense why the extremities isn't necessarily fleshed out, because it doesn't have to be.
yeah,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense actually.
Yeah. But this also kind of brings me to my own, let's expand on Hanja's theory, right?
Ooh,
Um
okay.
like something that came to mind was like, okay, fine. What if all most slash all, or maybe like a good portion of the Titans are being controlled by humans. And you know how, like, especially with Ilsa's chapter, it seems like when they're dormant or
Mm.
unprovoked, it seems like Titans can exist, like, and just,
Coexist.
yeah, yeah. No, as in like they don't disappear and stuff like that. They're just there,
Yeah. Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So is it the intelligent ones that disappear?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So okay, so if that's the case where it's the intelligent Titans that disappear, right? So we're assuming that those intelligent Titans are the ones that are being controlled by humans. Then
Hmm.
it has to be a human controlling Big Chungus.
Yes.
Yes, like that's a good theory, or yes, I'm right.
Yes, that's a good theory. Like it makes logical sense that it would have to be, uh, because we know that Eren's Titan vanishes after he's pulled out of it. Like it goes up in steam,
Yeah.
and we know that when Eren forms his Titan, a lot of steam is produced. Like there's a cloud, and then he kind of pops out of it, right?
Yeah.
And the biggest signs of Big Chungus showing up and leaving is a huge puff of smoke,
Mm. Yeah, so
which
my
would,
okay, go on.
yeah, go on, go on.
Oh no, so my additional theory to Hanjas was like, when it comes to the fact that they're intelligent Titans, and may be, and it seems like they may be controlled by humans.
Mm.
Um, could it be that there's other people out there, like outside the walls, like colonies or civilizations that exist apart from ours?
Mm.
It's almost like Promised Neverland, where you're kind of like led to believe one thing, and
Mm.
then you realize that your context of the world is so different from what it actually is, because you're so isolated. It reminds me
Yeah.
of that. Yeah.
It's kind of giving like the ancient Greeks meeting other civilizations for the first time, or
Mm.
like Christopher Columbus circumnavigating and like discovering like, well, did he? Yeah, discovering America. It's
Mm.
like there are more people out there, not just us.
Yeah, exactly. So now that we know that, so now that we know that the military plays an active part in experimenting on Titans and stuff, it isn't much of a reach anymore to suspect that Grisha, as one of like, as a good doctor, as one of the top
Yeah.
doctors, I'd say, in this society, actually having access to that information or whatever research the military is doing, and then being able to use that information to do whatever with medicine.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like, are you saying that being part of these experiments kind of helped him create a immunosuppressant for Eren, or
Yeah, possibly. Or in fact, maybe almost like a vaccine of sort. Like, if he somehow got like Titan blood, or something like that.
to create like antibody? Yeah, interesting. Yeah. At least we can say it's not as much of a kooky, crazy theory that Grisha could have been involved in Titan experimentation with the king.
Yeah, considering he makes all these long trips as well, where else would you go? You wouldn't go out, would you?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
not
he
like
wouldn't
it's
go out
not.
with me specifically.
Oh, it's not like Grisha was like, "Hey, Aaron, I'm going out to buy milk." like where the Titans are. No, he's gonna go buy milk like near where the king is. Like,
Yeah. um, Sorry, hopping back really quickly to the Titan mouth thing. I don't think we've put any kind of emphasis on how unique Eren's mouth is, like Eren's Titan's mouth is compared to other Titans.
I did not super notice it.
So, a little visual description. Like the rows of teeth on his Titan are kind of cut in half and pushed down a little. So he's got like a normal progression of teeth, and there's a sudden cutoff, and the rest of his teeth are set lower than his previous teeth, which is probably the most unique kind of mouth design. You can kind of see it in this chapter when Eren thinks back to his Titan forming. His like jaw is kind of, hold on, I'll show it to you. Like, I don't know if you can see that very well, but like the front half
Oh,
of the
I know.
jaw
I see it
is,
now. It's
yeah,
horizontal, isn't it?
yeah. It's like offset by a little bit, which is such a interesting one because so far all the Titan mouths we've seen, which feels so weird, like looking at mouths, but like Sonny and Bean have normal mouths, pretty normal. Big Chungus has a normal like set of teeth going on. It's only Eren who's kind of got like his chin is like set lower than the rest of his jaw.
I don't really know what to make of that, but that's really interesting because I wouldn't have picked up on
Yeah, I
that.
just want to point that out because that's like such a weird design choice.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Maybe he's got some special Titan dentist. I'm not super sure about that.
He's got really bad dental cover,
He's actually
so
got
this is what.
veneers, but the veneers were set really low.
They tried to pull out his wisdom teeth from the back, and it just pulled half his jaw
Yeah,
off
they're like, oh, we'll just
slightly.
leave it there. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
um, but yeah, oh yeah, so this is just like a little note about like the theory that I was thinking. Like maybe there's a whole
Mm-hmm.
set of other humans, maybe humans who this is such a niche reference. Like in the Maze Runner,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Maze Runner's been around for long enough. You guys should know the plot. Like
I think I've watched it, but I forgot the plot. But
the
tell me
maze
anyways.
runners were basically the people in the maze, like the main cast, believe that they're the only ones in the maze, right? And they're getting out. And
Mhm.
then they realize um that there's another set of kids who were in a different maze. So instead of a whole lot of boys with one girl, it was a whole lot of girls with one boy. So it's almost like, is Eren kind of like the one outlier in the society, and then there's another complete society that actually is capable of like projecting these titans.
Kind of like a ugly duckling kind of scenario where
Kinda,
it's
just
like
like,
the only ugly duckling, but it's actually like a swan, and there's a whole community of swans out there. Is that what you're trying
yeah,
to say?
like basically like there might, we can't rule out that there might be more than just like just tide and land outside of the
I feel
fucking
like,
bowl.
interesting. Well, that I guess that kind of expands the possibility of like, what if the Titans are literally invading because of another party?
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, you're right. If they don't have to eat and they can
Mm-hmm.
just literally survive on sunlight, there's no reason why they would purposefully attack. And right now, the only two times they have purposefully attacked without like them seeing the Survey Corps just out in the wild is just when Big Chungus was there. Which brings me,
Mm.
which is again gonna be another thing we have to explain because something else happens later in the. We'll have to
Yeah.
sit on this theory for a
Also,
bit.
I find it so interesting that Aaron's Titan attracts other Titans to like eat him up, because that's kind of like the exact opposite of what Big Chungus's effect has been so far,
That's true. That's true as well. There it is. Like
right? So very interesting.
as these conversations are happening, right? Like Hanj going on about her experiments, and then Eren learning more about Scott Levi and basically the Survey Corps. He's kind of just like in awe. Like he's like, at the
Yeah.
end of the day, he's a kid, right? Like, and he's such in awe. He's in
Yeah.
such awe that like the Survey Corps is like full of these kind of strange but passionate people who are like not afraid to challenge whatever the societal norm is. So it's quite weird to have it in this scene, but it's also quite heartwarming to have like to see him finding this sense of belonging suddenly, like out of
Yeah.
nowhere. Like
I
it's just
like how
cute.
that
Like
sense
I
of
don't know.
belonging. Yeah, it's very adorable. But I think what's funnier is the very next page after he kind of connects with Hanji is him looking so dead because they've been up all night discussing experiments.
I know he's just sat there. Does his butt not hurt? Like he's just been like set up straight on his
Yeah,
butt whole entire evening. Insane, actually.
not even in the evening. He's been up all night because we see the sun shining on them now.
Literally, yeah. We see them still in the same spot over and after like, the whole night's come and gone. And we see that Hanj
Yep,
is called for by like these soldiers, and we learn
yep.
that the two titans no, not Sonny and Bean, right? Or is it Sonny and Bean?
They were Sunny and Bean. Yes.
Oh no. And then we learned that Sonny and Bean have been killed,
Mm,
and it was an incident that happened just before dawn broke, and it was by done by a person who has access and knowledge of using the vertical maneuvering gear, or the 3D maneuvering gear, if you like, if you still
yes.
have a
Thank
bone to
you.
pick with that.
I have a huge bone to pick with that. Thank you.
Yeah, of course we know that Sunny and Bean rip um are Hanja's babies, basically, right? So she's obviously crying, and she can't understand what's happening. My concern right now is not Hanj,
Hmm.
and it's not Sunny and Bean. Why is Commander Irwin so weird?
Right? I'm so glad you brought that up. Oh my god.
Why does he basically slide up to Eren and just goes, "What do you see? Who do you think the enemy is?" What does that mean, bro? What?
You know, okay, I think I read too much into this. There's two things I want to talk about here, if that's all right. So when he says like, who do you think is the enemy? I wonder if he's asking in terms of humanities or like versus titans. Like, um,
Oh, I know.
like
I know exactly what you mean. So it's kind of
yeah,
like he might be asking he might be asking Aaron to like look at this scenario, this isolated scenario, humans versus like titans who literally pose no threat.
to me at least, it was kind of like a mini throwback to Pixis's little story he told Eren, where it's like if there's a great evil, humanity will band together to fight it, but
Without it.
yeah, they just keep fighting each other. So is Irvin asking Eren like that in relation to that?
Yeah, it's almost like asking Aaron to come to terms with human morality.
Mm,
Is it right to, kill off basically POWs, right? Essentially.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think I have a reason as to why he asked Eren, of all people.
Because he's kind of like in between.
Yeah, he can see it from. Well, I think Evan's assuming Eren has like good cognitive abilities as a Titan, but I think yeah, his reasoning was because Eren can see it from the side of the Titans as well as the soldiers, so he's kind of less likely to be as biased.
That's true. He's more capable of like seeing both sides of the coin, even though he identifies as human.
Would we say Eren's a trans icon really quickly?
Aaron's Titan fluid.
Anyways, what did you want to say?
My thoughts was
Hmm.
that okay, because like when I saw this unfold, I was instantly like, who could benefit the most out of hindering the Survey Corps research?
Yeah.
So I was thinking it was the military brigade.
Oh.
So
Okay.
it's more of like Erwin trying to say like, hey, we're just because we're all military doesn't mean we're all looking out for each other. Kind of vibe. Like basically like that civil war that kind of been hinted
Mm,
at already is kind of already happening.
right.
Because I was
Interesting.
thinking if the military brigade police does their own research, it doesn't necessarily um involve the survey corps, so it means it's separate projects. But if Irwin tries to like tell people, yeah, it was the military brigade, then it will kind of be like that Loki feels like treason because that's right hand of the king.
Yeah.
So,
I think I like your theory more than mine, to be honest.
really,
Yeah, I think yeah, it's more likely Owen's kind of warning Eren that it might be the military brigade rather than him possibly saying, "Oh, like is humanity bad?" You know?
but it is quite interesting that it could be a mix of both.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, so that kind of ends off the chapter
Hmm.
off with a bang, really.
The bang being the burning of Sonny and Bean.
Yeah, R.I.P. Sonny and Bean. They were cute, honestly.
Born in chapter 20, died in chapter 20.
To be fair, they showed up like the last volume.
They did.
Oh wait, no. If it wasn't, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh wait, maybe start off this volume.
Okay,
Like
well,
like when they said that they
mhm.
captured two alive. Remember we were discussing it.
Okay, born whatever chapter that was, died chapter 20.
Yeah. And yeah, so honestly, that's kind of like these two chapters plus the side story is like the bulk of the plot. There's so much going on.
Yeah.
But it's so exciting at the same time. Just like wow, we're giving so much information and it all of this could be used one way or another.
And so we end part 1 of Sunny and Bean After Dark. With such a densely packed volume, we've decided to split this episode into 2 parts, with the second part coming out very soon.